any department heads coming in, or is it just us?
Nope, it's just us. Everything.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3.
Good evening, and welcome to the September 18th, 2023 special meeting of the Litchfield Board of Selectmen. We've been in paperwork review, and we just come out. We'd like to have everybody rise, say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Very good. Tonight's meeting will be just budget-related items. There'll be no additional agenda items, as we try to narrow the budget down as far as we can to get it ready for the budget committee. So, Ms. Kleiner, what do we got so far?
Sure. So, at your last meeting on September 11th, the department proposed was about $610,000 over 2022, $313,495 over the cap. In the past week, we've had a few changes. We had a very small increase to our accounting software of $216. Working with fire, we reduced the projected calls from 850 to 750 based on the 2022-2023 trend. This is in the dispatch contract, which you'll see in front of you next week, the proposed contract with Hudson. That was a reduction of 1,500. A larger one, the ambulance new contract is an increase of 19,650, which will also be in front of you next week. And the new department proposed over 2022 is $628,433, or over the tax cap by $331,861,000. So, $331,861, excuse me.
That's where we are now.
That's where you are now. So, meeting with department heads and talking over their budgets, I think highway and solid waste are both spot on. There were very little increases. Town clerk and tax collector, nothing really that we could see that could be done there. That's the increase in elections. There's not much. Fire had, at first when you look at fires, you see some labor, but if you take all their labor changes, they really offset each other. So if you're looking at them all together, it's really not much of an increase, except for the warrant article that passed last year. So, again, and I did speak with all of them last week, as you had asked. We were right back to where we were at September 11th meeting. You have the police vehicles for $198,000. Whether that could be moved to a warrant, or at least a portion of it. There's the bond payment, which there is some money in fire impact fees, which we could reduce that bond payment out of the budget. The election machines, there is some concern that they will not be available. And where we don't know if they're available, we could wait and see. And we would think by next fall we could find that money within leftovers.
Terry doesn't think that they'll be available by the election cycle?
It's
crapshoot.
very up in the air, and speaking to one of the representatives, he didn't know if it would be if they'd be mass out to all the towns
Okay.
by,
And that was
Fall
what,
next year.
12,000, right, for the 4 machines?
14.
14.
14,000 for, how many machines were we getting? 4? 3?
I thought it was 4.
Two.
Two.
I thought two.
Seven,
we have
seven
now.
apiece, yeah.
2 or 4?
Two.
Two
Oh.
machines.
I thought it was 4.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, two.
Yeah, that'd be, I knew they were more expensive than that. And then the changes to the police overtime, you know,
47,000?
Mr. French and I worked those numbers very hard. Again, Karen looked at those numbers, and I mean, we've all been over this a number of times, so we feel pretty confident in the fact that you can reduce those lines. It is a decrease in 2 lines and an increase in the MPO, so it nets to $47,000 reduction. Still, we're not getting you there. Even after those changes, we'd be 47 over the cap.
So close. I'm an optimist.
I mean, it's not like we're spending a lot of money on items, this, that, and the other. I mean, everything is just, it's related costs, 3%, the union increase for the police, the warrants that passed the voters last year. So it's not like we've got a lot of frivolous spending in here.
You don't.
It's a pretty straightforward budget.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that we try to bring it in under the tax cap, but we also have to have a budget that we think the town can live on.
Exactly.
So our job is to get a balancing act between the two of them.
Yep.
You know, and that's our job as I see it, and 47,000 is pretty close.
It is. I think there's some concern over the police vehicles. We would, strongly make the argument, to the residents that if we don't start replacing some of these vehicles, the offset to that is maintenance costs.
Mhm.
So you pay for it one way or another.
Yeah, and the tricky part of that is if you bring it forth on a warrant, budget committee's gonna wanna take it out of the budget, and if it doesn't pass the warrant, now you have nothing in your budget also.
The
So that's
tough
the
part
risk
is,
in doing that.
when you go by this building, you see a lot of vehicles in the yard, and I
They're all
don't think
parked.
people realize the age, so I think if we could show people the maintenance, the fleet maintenance, and how they age out over time, it's not about the mileage as we talked about, it's about the hours.
Yep.
That might make it easier for people to understand that, I don't agree that we need 2 new vehicles 1 year, and then a new one the second year, but it'll help justify at least maybe bringing in 1 a year or offsetting it. Because right now, when people drive by, they just see a lot of cruisers in the yard, and they all look good, but you don't know what the actual condition is.
They're all parked, they're not moving. That's what they say.
In relation to that, you can also drive by Edwards Auto and see a cruiser there quite often.
Yes,
Because
yes.
they are starting to break down.
Yeah.
And I look at this like school buses or fire engines. I mean, you need to have working vehicles.
I agree.
To have the town operate, so. The other, with what Steve said, taking it to a warrant, you always stand a chance of it not passing, and the budget committee can endorse it if that puts you over the cap.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a tough situation. We have to trust the voters, I think, that they'll do the right thing.
But we are restricted still. with the
Oh, yeah.
cap.
Well, our job is to give a budget that meets the needs of the town.
I understand.
The budget committee actually is the one that has the burden of getting it below the cap.
Yep.
We can disagree, but they do have the final say on where the budget lies, so.
Yep.
We just have to do the best we can and give them a budget that we think meets the needs of the taxpayers,
Yeah, and then the town has chances to put monies back in it deliberative as they see
like we
fit.
did last year, yeah.
So even with the proposed cuts right now, we're still at, 7.4% over previous, and we have a cap of 5%.
47, how much are we over
47.
now?
47,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Over the cap,
Steve was
Over the
looking,
cap.
he was looking at percentages.
Yeah.
which is what percentage over last year's budget? Because we get 5% with the cap. So what is it, 6%? Are we 6%
I'm
over?
reading here, it says 7.48, if that's, If this is,
That's
this
So-
is
the
September
death,
7th.
the death.
Yes, you're correct. It's like 7.9. The current.
Where we're over?
Yeah, we gotta bring that down.
What it says here, it says the new proposed budget would be an estimate of 4.23 over the 2003 cap.
So if you're looking at the
4%.
budget,
Mhm.
they are that percentage that you're looking at is the amount that the 2024 department proposed is over the 2023
Mhm.
approved.
Mm-hmm.
So, good. If it was 47, 27, just for rough.
$28,000 over the tax cap, that's what it says here.
47,000,
I know, it says up there.
yeah, that's what,
I'm looking at the sentence below.
what, I think you're looking at what I'm looking at, and that's from the 7th.
Okay.
The repair and maintenance items, do they have any money in those accounts already that are high enough, or are they? I don't know if this is a warrant article that we have to put so much in per year, or do they already have a balance that we could maybe lower it 1 year? Instead of 30,000, make it 25,000 in? Again, it would depend if there's balances in those accounts.
Repair and maintenance for which?
I don't care if it's fire or police, and I know they need the money, but I'm just saying if they already have 10,000 in the account and they're asking for 30,000, could we put in 25,000? Or is that a warrant article that we have to put in the 30,000?
No, it's not. You can be whatever we want.
Only if they have a healthy account balance, right?
Mm-hmm. We could add or reduce. It's up to, I think it's up to us.
Knowing it's a risk.
Knowing it's a risk, yeah.
We take highway, police, and fire. The maintenance budget, what you're referring to.
But not decimated, just a little.
I know, I know.
Yes.
Did you say
Chip away.
4.4?
No, I was reading your memo from the 7th, and it was saying 7.4, but then you modified it on the
Yes.
16th.
Unfortunately, we weren't going in the right direction as, with each modification that I gave you. But yes, if we lowered it and got down to, reduced it by 284, 833, which would leave us with the 47 over the cap, we'd be about 4.47 over last year.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And is there any unknowns, like health insurance,
Oh,
whatever?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's still that up
So,
there.
so that's still on.
So is that in there right now at last year's numbers, or did we speculate a number we thought?
Yeah, no, it's in there with last year's.
And we know that's
whatever
gonna
the
be an
census
increase.
is,
Based off
yeah.
everything you're seeing out there, it's gonna be, and it's gonna be a substantial increase.
7 to 8%.
Percent, yeah.
That's what they
Actually sent
project,
out.
is 7 to 8%. I will
Okay.
say,
That's the updated numbers.
and I was working
went
on
back
this
over
somewhat
it.
today. We had, obviously, our first
Yeah.
negotiation session
So
last
this
week, with LPD. So, everybody, is aware now that one of the plans that the town has is ending at the end of
I
December
was doing today.
of
I'm
next
sitting on my
year.
computer doing this. whole
So
thing.
we need to look at choosing another alternative to that plan. There are some really good options. One that I'm familiar with, and I think those in private industry are, is the high deductible
Yep.
health savings account. We're trying to crunch those numbers to see if that even works. The smaller your census gets, it's more difficult to make that plan work. That plan is really good based on large volume.
Yep.
Mhm.
A lot of
So-
people like the HSAs,
They do, yeah, I do.
but not when you have young kids.
Reference to police department on automobiles.
Yep.
We got 198. That cruiser a command and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it was 2 cruisers
And a
and the
command.
command truck.
That, I think, should be for the year. We're gonna get the vehicles out there in the yard to do what they gotta do. That's me, okay?
They were asking for two, right? That 114,000, well, that one line item, right?
And they got 1,998.
Yeah, total.
But maybe this is the year that they use what they got and we can still fix what they have.
That happened to them last year, right?
Happen- yeah. It's one of those things we just keep pushing down the road.
So do we have any balances in those repair funds that are, not that I know we don't see that poor car at Edwards Garage all the time, but do we have any balances in the maintenance of some of these vehicles, fire, police, that's high enough that we could maybe take off 5,000 from this year?
If you're talking about in the current 2023 budget, they are already concerned about their maintenance. They've had some substantial repairs. They're still getting ready for winter tires. So I doubt very much, and it's not significantly increased for next year, knowing that they are asking for new vehicles. There is the thought that the crew cab pickup truck is kind of a new ask, right? It's not a replacement vehicle.
That's a new one.
But the offset to that is now we have nothing to put animals in as the police take back the animal control function. So we really need some sort of truck or some sort of vehicle we can put animals.
The back of their wagons don't have a place to put something
No.
at all?
I believe they have a tray.
Yes, there's a
that
tray
has
back there.
equipment, and if you have a big dog, you can't get it in the back, or if it's, the justification would be with a command vehicle with a cap on back, you can get a dog into the back of it, or a large animal,
The other side, you can put them in the back seat, and there's plenty of room.
you know.
That's my opinion, because we do dogs all the time in the back seat.
I mean, it'd be nice to get these
Used to.
vehicles into an expendable trust fund. Get them out of the budget.
I agree.
So,
It really would be a wise thing to go do. Then we have that pot of money sitting there. If we utilize some, we backfill it on a warrant article the next year.
that is one of the policies that we're discussing in these meetings with town administrators across the state. It is what a lot of larger municipalities do. You have a capital expense fund, similar to doing the CIP, figuring out the yearly costs and actually putting that away. Some people do it from fund balance. I mean, there's different ways of doing it, warrant article. But it is important. It's putting money away for a rainy day. It's raining. And I can't
We could always top it
imagine
up
what
by
would have
fund
happened.
balance too if we wanted to in the future. So it gives us that flexibility on how do we want to go back and backfill the expendable trust once we take monies from it. The only risk is if it doesn't pass, that we no longer have that line in the budget. And I think we're gonna
Till the following
need,
year.
we're gonna need a lot more money, because if health insurance comes in at the rate we think it's gonna be, we're gonna be even more over the tax cap.
We have to look at what we have to cut to make the health insurance stay the way it is.
And I'm hopeful that if we can look at the right plan, and it's more difficult now because the census is kind of changing, right? So we've had a few new hires, we've have a few departures, and that's difficult. But hopefully we can find a plan that will cut the health expense somewhat, but I don't see it offsetting
No.
the increases.
So you said the police department anticipated maintenance. How about the fire department? I know when they do have something go, it's devastating, but there's a $30,000 maintenance fee for the fire And I'm not saying they don't need it, but I'm just saying, could we trim it $5,000 if they have money in their account already? You said winterizing of cars, did you mean the police department, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so right now it's showing, vehicle repair and maintenance was 16,000, they have about $5,000 left.
In the
And
police.
they still have to put snow tires and get the cars ready for winter. And I think he said, the other day I was talking to one, and I thought he said one needs brakes and they all need tires.
Is that the police?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the fire
I think
department.
she's talking about fire now, and we could certainly see where they are. I don't recall
I think it is 7,
discussing that particular item. I know we went over training
let's see,
and labor.
4220 is fire. And again, I know they need the money. It's- But I'm just saying, if for 1 year, shave 5,000 off,
They don't need to change the tires in the fire department.
No.
Well, their equipment repair, we're just going off of the 2022.
Okay.
They had 20,900, and they've spent 18,122. So they only have a balance of about $2,700 for the rest of the year.
And they also had that special article where they repaired one of the trucks for like $25,000 or $26,000.
so 30,000 seems in line, right?
Is that what the new one they're looking
I
for?
thought I saw 30,000.
Oh, vehicle repairs,
Yeah,
sorry, that
vehicle
was
repair.
equipment repair, sorry, vehicle repairs, 30,000.
It's 30,000, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They have expended 14,800.
Okay, yep, I was looking at equipment.
So
So
it's
it's
15,
9660, all right.
and we're 3/4 of the way through the budget, yeah. Possible.
Is there a little bit there for 1 year? Knowing it's a risk if they need it, I know.
So,
Under emergency management, the hazmat we moved from the fire, well, that was moved from the fire department.
yes.
But the other big item there is equipment purchase, the CERT team training and equipment. I know we said we needed to put some money in that account because it was zeroed out last year, or $1, but it's $3,000. Can we look at that to see if we can cut something off of that, shave something? Even if it's only 1,000 or 1,500?
Well, the only thing I'd be afraid of is I really think that looking at the new policy
Mm-hmm,
where it is now, the CERT team is the way to go.
mm-hmm.
I want the residents to feel like they can have the events that they want,
Mm-hmm.
and getting the residents' help on that is gonna be crucial. We can look to see if there's any money around, in the form of grants and things, but there's gonna be no
Mm-hmm.
guarantees.
Okay.
Code reds are fixed.
Yeah.
Let's start selling fire hydrants.
Well, that, unfortunately, that's going the wrong way too.
Yes.
We could cap them off and forget about them.
Yeah, with these new developments, they're only gonna go up.
I didn't put them in, they did.
Yeah, and the expansion over here. is-
Ridiculous.
Yeah. We didn't have an expansion project going, I'd say maybe we could try to shave a little off, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's gonna go up. The wrong direction.
Any unforeseen revenues?
Oh, was she, Kim,
I think that's what she was
Selectman
asking.
Queen, were you asking about the expendable trust for fire, or just a regular
I
maintenance?
think it was, the tab is 4220, right? Does it-
Okay,
And then line
Okay.
660 in there,
Yeah.
yep,
so 4220,
Yeah, but which
regular
one?
budget.
and line
Yeah.
660, or account.
Okay, okay.
It's $30,000.
Yep.
Good point, they have 70 in the expendable trust.
Well, in July, they had 30-something, and we had a warrant article for 40. That I think we put in there in July. So in
Seems too
August-
round of a number, it was a
or
it was a
August,
warrant
yeah,
article.
this
I wanted to make
recent
sure
statement
it
should
didn't
have
have to go in.
Well, they got 29,000, 20, equipment repair and maintenance you're referring to, right? The fire?
Go back to that. I thought it was 30,000. Let me go back.
Oh, wait, that was
4220.
January, hold on, this is July. I don't like the way.
4420-10-630.
Fire weekend.
I don't want them to hate me over it, I know they need it,
Fire
but I'm just
vehicle
saying,
equipment and repair.
hopefully it doesn't break down more
Oh,
than
okay, okay.
$5,000.
in
44660.
660,
33
Yep,
there.
yep, yep. I was up
And we
above.
had a warrant
that's a lot
article
of
for
equipment there
40.
they're listing as a potential problem.
Yeah, but they're still in good shape. Doesn't
But
get
did
used
we
much.
use a portion of that for the
Went up 12,000
fit up
last year,
of the new engine?
Yeah, that's my point.
down the year
No.
before.
No,
That truck
I
had so
don't think
much
they
more of the
approved
electrical
anything out
underneath
of that
it.
this year.
Yeah,
Last
but
year they
That
did.
was done by a warrant article, I
Did
thought.
they repair
and that's been
Fire
corrected,
last
so we
year.
shouldn't have it again.
We took like 60,
Yeah,
Yeah, so looking at that fund, it was 15.
or
then
approved
the
up to
33,
60, I
then down
think
to
they used 40-something.
so it's possible
Yeah.
that between
Well, they don't need any
equipment
tires this
repair,
year.
vehicle repairs, and the trust fund, reduce the vehicle repair.
And if we used anything out of the fund, we can
Try and
replenish
replace
that.
Right.
According to what I see, they only spent 50%. Right?
Yes, you're right, you're right.
You want to just check with Doug on that? I'm sure.
Sure.
We've already
There's a
met with
line
him
item
few
that we can
times.
work with there.
Have we got is there gonna be an increase in the retirement this year? For like the police or town, state retirement?
An increase in the retirement
What-
portion
what
or
we have
just
to
by
pay
the
in, yeah.
budget? So, no, so it actually decreased slightly.
Okay,
The amount paid to them of the town's portion.
okay.
But I think just, because we didn't have any really budget for the police department for their wages, because it's a new year for the contract.
Yeah. So I noticed that line was.
Yeah, so I don't think there was a big touch on that.
Yeah. I noticed an increase
back to
of
the budget.
18,000 on that.
25,000.
Yeah, so some of it's gonna be incurred in the contract.
Yep,
Yes.
so that number's still a good number. We can't touch it, obviously, but it.
Yeah,
My concern would be if the state came through and said we
oh,
had
with
to
some
pay
help,
more.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Are we comfortable with the revenues we have?
No.
Well, we're not.
Well, I mean, are we
We're
hedging
not
on something?
comfortable.
No.
Hopefully rooms and meals comes in
Yeah.
higher, which would be.
Revenues
nice,
are
but-
down and expenses are up. That's not good.
They've already been adjusted down.
Down, okay. I just didn't know if
And
there's
then
any
we'll wait for rooms
unforeseen,
and
that-
meals to see what that comes in at.
any speculation on what that would be? Have they given any glimpse?
I mean, that last year last
They
year it
were
was
late, weren't
higher,
they?
and it was higher than we thought, but they said not to budget as high this year.
This year, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so we dropped it a little bit, so it would be nice if it came in a little higher,
Mm-hmm.
that would help.
The only thing that we could be possibly low on is that interest, but I don't wanna,
Yeah.
it's too much of a wild card.
Yeah,
And we have increased revenues on permits and things because of the developments that are
Mm-hmm.
proposed.
Yeah.
But we've reduced the motor vehicles because that's the trend this year.
So I mean, if we take the proposed reductions to get to 47, then we look at fire,
At 10, say 10?
10, now we're down to 37, so we're getting close, but part of that reduction is moving the police vehicles to the expendable trust.
Yes.
To a warrant.
To a warrant, yeah.
And, maybe maybe that's the answer, or an answer for the police department is create an expendable trust for police vehicles
Mhm.
and fund it.
With fund balance, maybe,
Yeah.
if there's enough there, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also in the
Good.
fire department semester, the seminars and conventions,
Yeah.
only 63% has been, we're gonna look a little bit there.
Yeah.
So seminars and conventions, you have a large one.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them are going in November is when their big convention, the fire is.
Okay.
And that one is by contract.
Okay.
Thank you for the answer. If we get rid of some hydrants, we could all solve this problem. We don't use the hydrants we have now.
Yeah.
Library was looking for 12,000. I remember 4 I thought was wages. Do you remember what the other 8?
Yes.
You gotta find
That's
them.
right.
Okay.
Details spreadsheet.
4550, yeah. Let's look at that
45,
one.
50, 20.
Yeah, it's $12,000 increase.
And so they had,
Payroll.
they were all small
Yeah,
wages, related wage costs, software, 451.
There's a PC in there.
Yeah, equipment maintenance contract had gone up. The largest one that was an increase for 2,474 on books and media.
yep. Downloadable books, Mango Languages, and Heritage Quest.
2,000 of that was Hoopla, which was
That's another one, yeah.
previously an ARPA grant.
They have to pay for that now.
So that's another one where it builds up, but it's just little tidbits, little bites.
It is.
Unfortunately, that's one of the downfalls of ARPA. Is you have it, and you don't.
I think it was Gopher. I had the Gopher grant. Not that it matters, but.
Yeah, overall, their budget's up 17,000.
If everybody's at home watching this is a very boring session.
Is it down prepay utilities, like propane or whatever? Get a better deal.
Mm.
You do, yeah.
Have we gone out for bid?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go off a bid on that, right?
Yes.
Did you bid it?
Yeah.
Good. So you're gonna hold this.
Yeah.
And we currently have a bid on the landscaping
Yeah.
cemeteries, but
Okay. You mean the lawn care?
it'll close.
And this year, grass doesn't stop growing.
Not this
It's
year.
been awful.
And it rained last Monday night when we were here too.
It rains every Monday night.
You don't have to sweep the roads this year, it rained so much.
And significantly, we went down on legal.
Okay.
So I'm not sure there's, even in prior years, you've spent that. No, it's budgeted at, so. I don't know, even if it's $37,000, I think the budget committee is gonna have a tough time. I don't think we should look at gas or,
agree.
I mean, we've been monitoring that pretty closely,
Yep.
so.
And gas prices, just talked about it today, they may be going up. Have you got the salt and that all taken care of for the year?
So salt, our highway department was at a salt symposium, last Wednesday. And they are looking and working with other towns and
Okay.
DES on new types of products. So they're actually getting, some free samples. But he is set on his salt for
Good.
right now. We feel
They say it's not supposed to snow this winter, so I don't know.
it's gonna rain.
I think it has all year.
Just don't see it.
No,
Gravel,
getting it down
gravel,
to
no.
that 37,000 is getting it pretty thin.
I mean, there's always solid waste. And if you're looking at, recycling, and it's because we have the recycling fund as a backup, but, I think Mr. Mellon has done a really good job of tracking what the costs have been.
He does a great job every year in this budget.
Yeah, so I think if it was lowered, you would end up going to the recycling
Yeah.
fund, and
Yeah.
it's not really meant,
Yeah, he's good on this one.
meant for that.
Yep.
So, I think it's,
I think we take the proposed reductions and we do the expendable for the police vehicles.
I think so too.
we try to fund it somewhat from what we have left from.
Yeah.
It can
And
be.
raise and appropriate the delta
Yeah.
we think we need to do.
Won't be the first time we couldn't buy anything that year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if it passes, you can.
Right.
But then it gets it out of the budget and
I know when I started working in the building department, they used to hand over used police cruisers to the inspectors. You drive around car, a cop car around town, people look at you.
I just think even if we don't, the budget committee's going to have to.
I have to agree with that.
So it's-
Steve, as far as the rec, we have 2,500 for playgrounds, painting, upkeep. Any idea what their plans are for that?
so there's some talk right now about trying to do a fund also for repair and maintenance.
I think that's a good idea,
So
too.
tomorrow night, that's what we're gonna be discussing, if we're gonna ask the Board of Selectmen to bring it forth and what dollar value. Because right now, if anything happens in rec, we have no money to repair anything. Well pump goes, roof and talent goes, something like that.
Heating system
Rec-
again.
Heating system again, we're dead in the water. And especially we're very concerned about Talent Hall, and it gets so much usage from November to February, March. It'd be a sin if we had to close that place for not having monies to go repair it. So that's tomorrow night's discussion at rec.
Okay.
And the tough
So-
part is that
That's why I didn't mention the other line, which was 2,500 for fence drainage and repairs and stuff. That's why I didn't mention that. That's just this one here.
So once again, if we try to bring it forth, it's the same thing. I mean,
Mhm.
the budget committee's gonna wanna take it out of the budget, but if it
Mhm.
doesn't pass, then we really, and
Can't fix anything.
There's a couple of line items that may be able to be pulled out of there if they have an expendable trust. The
Exactly.
problem is you don't know if it's gonna fail.
Yeah,
You don't know.
exactly.
Right.
So it looks like you're not managing your budget because you still have excess towards the end, but that's the
You don't know what's
safety
gonna
net.
happen.
Never know, so, so there might be some monies we can pull from there, but it's, as you can see, that budget is mostly field maintenance. Other than that, a couple $1,000 we might be able to get to help us get closer to the tax cap.
Field maintenance and propane.
Yeah.
Big one.
Hot air and gas.
And there was a talk too, that maybe long-term, now that there's the well, of possibly connecting Talent Hall to the well and getting rid of that water. We'd have to have it tested, make sure
Actually,
it's
tested,
tested.
and then we have to connect to it, be a cost for that, but
Right. Being able to get rid of that
Like 35,
Penachuk charge.
but you could up it to 35 here.
That's what, $2,000, 2,500?
Taking it out of the budget, so you gotta recoup that. I think 2025 is its last year. It's under general government. That's it, like I said.
So Karen, sorry, Karen and I are talking over here
That's fine.
about, the.
Street lighting is still down.
Yeah.
because we did the LED upgrades.
Yes, we did.
That's smart.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the debt for the towers,
Mhm.
right? Or, no, it's the fire station.
Well, the communication, oh, yeah, well, so we were talking about
Yeah, we
fire
were talking
station
about the
and,
fire
yeah.
station. And if you didn't do 25 and you did 35 out of fire impact fees, with all the proposed development, you're probably gonna have a lot of that replaced.
Yep.
In no time at all.
But the kind of downfall to that is it's that much more if you don't do 35 next year,
Mhm.
that hits you.
Yeah.
Um,
But is that
Always
really a
seem to be chasing
downfall?
ourselves.
Is that really a downfall? It's nice to have, but is it a downfall?
It takes room up from your cap.
Okay.
If you don't have the impact fees, you gotta pay it. So
One
it's
way or
going
the
back
other.
into your budget, yeah.
Your impact fees are coming with what you got coming down the line.
That, what you're hoping is, yeah,
Correct.
those developments,
not gonna be
or
as
some will
fast
be
as you
done
want
that
it
you
to go.
could, yeah,
I'm sure of that.
yeah.
When do they pay the impact fee? When they're approved or when they get the occupancy?
When you get the
Occupancy.
CO.
Yeah,
All right, because of some of the, one of those projects, it's a phased project, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
It's not all
You
of them
can
coming online
anticipate.
at once.
But you anticipate how much you may get in a phase. That's all you can do.
Which when I think when we looked at those numbers, for the permits revenue, we were very careful to only count upon the phases that we thought would be complete.
And you can determine actually the exact amount by knowing the square foot already,
Mm-hmm.
how much you're gonna get in.
oh, for impacts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which hopefully we are close on the new impact fee.
Not worried about the impact fee, I'm worried about the words around it. You know, that 90-page document being replaced with a 30-page one, I'm nervous about. That's what I'm
90
worried about.
pages to say.
I'm not worried about the numbers, I'm
I
worried
know.
about the qualifications.
What makes it, what doesn't make it. have a question. At the animal shelter we have for strays, we have elected trustee budget of 1,100. We only spent 36 left. Is that what I'm seeing? No, yeah, okay, we can narrow that down a little bit. Never mind. I see what I saw.
Registrations is down 77,000, huh?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Bond payment, 145.
Interest rates went up, new car purchases went down.
Yeah.
They're gonna go down even more.
Yep.
Something to do with people standing with a sign saying, nope.
Back.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, it was 135 minus 20.
You know, where,
It's 110. That's why I think it's supposed to be.
Let me see.
demolition's gone up a lot, hasn't it?
Oh, no, because it increases.
It decreases the, interest, is that the principal that we're looking at?
It's the principal, so the principal should increase.
So
and the
twenty
interest will
twenty-four is
decrease.
145. Yeah, and then the year after it's 150. Isn't that weird? Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, I guess then the interest goes,
Yeah. Offset.
yeah. Yeah, and then it goes 160, 165, 170. That's just the principal.
Are we still leasing vehicles?
I'm aware. Okay. Are you aware of any leases?
No, this was the last year on the highway.
The white ones, right? The white trucks.
That answers the question we're just looking at right now. Thank you.
And if we get the grant for the new, I believe there's some discussion, at least that with a couple of members on capital improvement, about replacing that lease and keeping a leased vehicle within the highway budget.
Yeah.
We could do that, but time-wise, you have to figure out a way to pay for it the first year, and it has to go on warrant article. So, if we didn't, if we pulled it,
Yeah,
and we decide to do another lease, and we take the first year by fund
Mm-hmm.
balance, that could work.
mm-hmm, yep.
I will have to say that tree removal on the highway department is, they've done well. They kept it in there. But after driving down some of these roads, some of these trees are hanging down pretty low.
Yeah, they've been out there, though.
They've been out there doing a lot of work.
Yeah, if you take that and 10, another 10 from impacts.
That could get us
Mhm.
there.
Very close.
So, alright, well, come on highway.
So you're taking the lease payment out?
So, that's thought. It's actually a pretty good thought. Take the lease payment out. If we decide that, and I think we should, lease another vehicle to keep that fleet going in the right way.
Yep.
Take the first lease payment by fund balance. You're hurting yourself a little bit on the cap next year, but
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it gets $28,000 out of the budget.
right, so
Right.
28 plus the 10, plus if you take another 10 from impact, you're there.
We're at the tax cap.
They're pretty close.
without knowing
Oh,
health
yeah.
insurance.
Yeah,
So 47,
Health insurance,
37.
workers' comp.
Yeah,
That would help.
yeah.
so.
It's really hard kicking the can down the road.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, no choice. On the streetlights, have we have all the, I'm gonna say like at the highway department, their street lights changed out? LEDs that they have there? And also at the firehouse, there's a couple of them there.
There's the older ones on
Right.
the other
Out
side.
here,
Yes,
they've been
Yep.
changed?
no,
So this is something we gotta look at, I think.
they're powered by the box.
Conventional, right,
Yeah.
okay. They have power upon the panel here, that's right. And the same thing with highway garage, no, they're not.
Rec was converted, Dara Pond.
Yeah, those are all been converted.
And the highway was not converted completely because they do have conventional ones out there.
That are attached to the building.
They're not attached to the building, they come from the main service.
I know.
They're
these-
flood style, that's what they are.
I know these weren't. So
I think we should run the numbers with those changes and see where we're
if
at.
we,
To save us some
I'm
money,
gonna
Yeah.
at least get you.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's good. It'll help.
I've gone through every line. I can't see anywhere else we could possibly cut.
I agree, Bobby. I've seen everything, we're at the limit. Looking at the expenditures and everything else as it comes down through, I don't see anything that's there.
So I think that
Karen, if health insurance goes up 6%, what do you think the overall number is?
I think it was gonna be about 40 grand, but let me see. I think I might have done it on 7%, but,
Okay, I was just curious if, speculation, you keep seeing is 6, 6.5, 7. Because that'll be the next number we'll be chasing.
Yep.
so 628.
Calculator.
I'll just do health. I won't do dental, because dental doesn't usually go that much.
So
Conservation has 2,000 for milfoil, but I think it's needed,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the budget committee's
About
gonna go right
38
after
with
that.
6%,
They
about
probably-
38.5.
I'm sure they will.
And that's without dental.
But could we move all that to warrant?
What, the 2,000 for Milfoil?
Because it's gonna be an ongoing cost going on to maintain that.
Right.
And years ago, when we pulled it, it was because we didn't know what the ongoing cost was gonna be for it.
Right, now it's a new company.
It's a new company, there's new regulations, I understand, it's new calculations they have to do, and
I don't think they have a new quote, but I thought it was, the estimate was substantially less.
that's good.
Because I think before it was like $10,000 a year for 3 years.
What?
Yeah, you have to do it in sections.
Under
This would
emergency
be-
management,
This would be just to do a, assessment to see what it would take, and that would be $2,000 to get the company in to do the assessment.
Yeah, so we probably should do the assessment and then figure out in 2025 how we wanna go handle it.
I have a question. Under emergency management, we have a software support. What is that about?
Software support?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, but
On which one?
it's almost $5,000.
Code red
must be
emergency
code
Code
notification
red, yeah, code red.
to get your alerts out.
That's an ongoing.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
What's the highway rate in this account?
Oh, 28.
The old days used to call each other.
28,565.
Now we're spending $5,000 to say, hey,
Yep, for it to go out automatically.
makes no sense, but that's me.
It's gonna be,
Is there any unfilled positions right now? I know the police are down a couple, but are there any other unfilled positions that, we can be looking at here? That haven't been filled for more than a year, other than the sergeant that's away on deployment? I know we have to put that back in, because he may come back.
oh,
I know. Nope.
No? Okay.
so, number said, bond,
I mean, I would say just in police, but
Mhm.
bond payment take
yeah. So we have 36.
fire, vehicle maintenance. D10.
Karen, do you have the number, how much has, payroll gone up this year, union and non-union? Do you have a number on that?
No, but I can see. I think the unions, the union for July was 2.5.
Yep.
And employees were between 2.5 and 3, and that was just for the half a year.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm just curious how much of our cap is taken up just in that,
Just in payroll.
just in payroll, yeah.
I can look in.
Yeah.
Get back to you.
Okay.
So,
Well, under the fire department, under the health insurance, there's a big number there. At the end, it's 21,000 left over, 37%. An item there, unless I'm wrong.
Where are you looking, Kev? At the budget?
Yes, the budget,
2024
under
budget?
fire department health insurance.
Overspent last year. That might be because we were without a chief for a while. We had an interim.
He saved us some money, didn't he? Just saying, I was looking at that, that's what I was wondering. That's a
There's
lot, that's
large
what I'm
amount
saying.
Left?
Yeah, it's $21,000.
Oh, so he's looking in the
Oh,
budget,
yes,
not, yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
saying
that-
there's not
that's
much
exactly
there.
what
Yeah.
Mr. Larry said, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
It's just a lot, that's what I'm saying, you know?
yeah. Looking at,
Yeah, the salary is
Everything.
down 12,000 also,
yeah.
that we've discussed,
or, yeah, I'm sorry, 2,000. This year's down 12.
if we did everything, the automobiles, 10,000 more for a bond payment from impact, the election machines, the reductions to police overtime, reductions of 10 in fire vehicle maintenance, and removal of the highway lease. We are 1,500 below the cap.
Can you repeat those, please?
Sure can.
Yep.
Would you like me to just send them to you?
Yes.
So you can look at the spreadsheet? I know, I have to see numbers, I can't
Yep.
talk numbers.
Well, I'm just saying the numbers, what I'm saying here, I see this hasn't been spent yet.
Yep.
Why? And I want to know.
No, that's a very good point, actually. So we're gonna mark that one down for you.
Yeah, instead of doing the same thing, looking at what they had left for the budget, but then when you go into it, you're like, oh, it's,
Yeah, see what you're doing there.
Yeah, because depending on what it is, it could be a one-time purchase that just hasn't been spent yet.
We don't know yet, that's why
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Yeah,
Alright,
Just like on postage, there's 41% they haven't touched, you know what I'm saying? They don't mail anything.
postage went up, what, 6 cents a stamp or something?
yeah, but
Yeah, it
who,
went up a little
so
bit.
who's that, town, who has that, 41% and,
The fire department.
oh, yeah, but I think they only budget like $100, right?
alright.
It's not much, I'm just saying.
I thought they had overspent, because I thought they increased next year's, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's hard, because if you look at their protective gear, that takes so long. But we did do a PO, so it may be under an encumbrance in the
to-
budget.
Hopefully.
Bob, also under vehicle
I say, yeah, I say hopefully because.
Yep.
is,
My mouse
50% of it is still there.
So
Yeah.
it's the copy and the paste and the,
Under maintenance?
Yep,
that is, it's very frustrating.
$15,148 left under a $30,000.
Yeah,
Line item.
1537.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna
Fire-
change.
I'm not trying to pick on them, I'm just saying.
No.
The trucks are in good shape, maybe. But something could happen. We all understand that.
Did you get it, Bob?
I don't know.
I got it.
I got it.
Okay, then I probably have it.
I haven't
Yeah,
had a
under
look for it.
1,500.
Is it in here?
Email.
What's an email?
She just sent out the update.
Yeah, I was keeping a running balance and then the last three I gave that up. So, excuse my funky spreadsheet on the fly.
It works.
Yeah,
I mean, they have 30,000 in the budget for equipment, repairs for vehicles, but it doesn't say what they've spent, right? There's no actual there.
It's
I know, I think
15,000
Kevin's
left
looking
all
at the
over.
budget,
That's what I'm saying,
Yes, you
okay?
did.
budget report,
Yeah, oh, okay.
and it was like 50%, right?
They spent 50%.
14 something they had spent.
Yep.
Talking about fire, right?
Yeah,
So maybe we ask Doug if there's anything that he's got in next year's budget that he can pull
well,
from
we
here.
just thought, I think on that list was to take out 10
10,000.
and use
yeah.
the capital reserve.
Yeah.
If they
Take it
had
out, because they
to.
also
Yeah.
have the fund.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have the repair and maintenance fund they can pull from.
yeah, oh, okay, yeah. Maybe he can use that for his thermal imaging cameras that he's asking for, because that's 10,000.
Oh, I think
Thermal
it's though,
energy?
That's repair though, right?
yeah, I think it's fire vehicle.
I don't think the verbiage of the
Yeah,
fund
equipment.
will allow you to use it.
Yeah, it's not equipment. I think it's just fire vehicle repair.
That's just something new.
Yeah, so they had 30, Kevin was looking at the budget, they had 30, they've spent 14. So,
That's a trust fund?
That's in
The-
the regular budget.
The fire
Yeah,
expendable.
660, right?
660.
660.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So
got
they
it.
can't use that for, they can't use that for something else, like the cameras?
Not in the trust funds, right? I
So
think
that's in a
it's-
trust fund, okay.
We have fire vehicle and repair in the trust
Oh,
fund.
you do? Okay.
Yeah.
So item 660 is in the trust fund.
That we
Okay.
do have, yeah,
Okay,
That answers the question. Thank you.
yeah.
Oh, great
So-
one.
Stop the wind from blowing. I just jacked it off.
Sorry.
Well, you getting
I-
cold?
I think it's cold.
I do too.
it's chilly.
I'm gonna take off my coat now.
Please put this back up.
I don't like being cold.
You know, it's 15 below without health insurance coming in.
If that's 40, now we're back up to 38, but I mean, it's.
Well, why don't we
we're
go with
close.
this and see what happens? Let's take this first stance through. You know what I'm saying? We still got some more bartering to do here.
We're a couple months
Fingers
away probably from
crossed
knowing
that-
health insurance.
Yeah.
Rums and Meals comes
The
in
end
nice.
of,
October?
Yeah, at least that, at least that.
yeah. They,
Yeah, it's the whole month of October, it's be fall. Which is next week, right? Steve?
2 weeks.
Oh, it's in next week, right? October 7th?
2 weeks.
Maybe we find out, do any of these departments have leftover monies that they can use to buy some things that they haven't?
Send out a memo.
okay,
Because that could help us
Yep.
out too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, along those lines, say like the rec goes for an expendable trust, can they take money that they have in their budget now and kind of seed it to start? Now you cannot,
Has to be a
gotta be
warrant
passed.
article to fund
right,
it.
say it does pass, but then it's,
It still doesn't
Yeah,
count.
you
gotta
can't,
make it-
yeah.
You gotta wait
Can't
till the
move
end.
operating budget to,
into a warrant.
Yeah. yeah.
everything at the end goes to fund.
I wanna go on record, I spent all day on this computer trying to learn all the budgets and stuff, trying to figure everything else, that's why I'm prepared for tonight.
I do,
My wife thought I was crazy.
I don't know much more we can do right now.
I
think we're at the
I think
end,
that's some
swing.
pretty
Yep.
creative
Yeah.
ideas and without decimating us too much.
Yep.
I mean, if they can
Kim,
find
thank
some
you.
things next year, if they can
It's
find the
a
monies.
team effort. This whole team has worked.
I just want to say,
incredibly.
but you don't want to write things down.
So I would say if,
Only because I can't remember.
we're gonna move the police vehicles to a warrant article, they definitely wanna do their homework and come prepared and show the townspeople why they
Yep.
need it. I mean, obviously, we want our officers to be in, safe vehicles, but it's hard to swallow 198,000.
It is.
Well, they haven't had them for a couple of years either. 'Cause
Right.
we pulled them
right.
out, we pulled one out last year,
Last
and then
year.
the budget committee pulled the other one.
But, we can fund
Hopefully
some
the
of
new
that.
chief is ready
We
for
have a
that
possibility of,
conversation.
yeah, we have some of that to fund, possibly prior to the warrant article, right? So we may not have to raise and appropriate the whole entire value.
Correct.
Which might make it a little more palatable.
I don't think anything else we can do, Bob. I think we did good.
No, and if, like I said, if the departments have monies left over that they can pull some things from next year,
That's what Kim's for,
it could look even better.
and that's where Karen's for.
At least then when we go to budget, we can say, this is
We've
what
done our
we've done,
job.
So if we're gonna get the budget ready to go over to the budget committee,
For Thursday, yep.
and if I hear correctly, we are making these changes in the selectmen proposed lines.
Correct.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Yep. Steve, you good? Yep.
I'll make a
Support these.
motion to make the changes to the proposed lines that we discussed and move the police vehicle to an expendable trust warrant.
Second?
We have a motion from Mr. Weber and a second from Mr. Lynch. Any more discussion? Yep.
We need to pass the ones you recommended, right?
He's talking about all.
They're
of them. It's a
in there,
block.
All
yep.
proposed, yeah.
They're all
Down to
on this
47,000.
spreadsheet,
Yeah.
yep.
We did.
They're all in
Okay,
there.
just wanna make sure we have all of them in. All right, yep,
Okay,
good.
15
yep.
below.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 400. 500.
See?
He's still cutting
I'm
heads,
cutting myself
cutting
off.
budgets.
We're not used to seeing 4.
Okay,
That's all was on the list, wasn't it?
Yes, I was.
That's it?
good? Okay.
Good.
That being said, that concludes our business. We'll entertain a motion for,
So moved.
Motion we adjourn.
a motion.
Second,
from him
And
him
Kim?
And her.
Thanks, Kim.
Don.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500 at 7:44.
I just want to say this, guys, today I spent 4 hours on the budget, all the stuff that Kim has submitted over the last month or so, and going here tonight, and my wife asked me, are you all right? And I'm sitting with a laptop in front of me. She'd never seen that happen before.
And then you got it turned on.
I was gonna go there and do it.